What is going on, everybody? I am back today to talk about the newest Wes Anderson film, which I'm relatively late to the game on seeing. I went on vacation recently and I fell behind on a ton of the new releases, so I've been trying to spend some time getting to the theater when I get the opportunity to get caught up on these movies. But Wes has always been an incredibly important director to me. I feel like when I went to film school, made that decision, he was one of the large reasons why I went to film school. I feel like the first time I watched a Wes Anderson movie, which the first film of his I ever watched was The Life Aquatic, it was really life-changing for me. I feel like when I watched that movie, just saw the way he was able to create this world and have these characters deliver dialogue in such a specific way that was really sort of dark and comedic and also incredibly emotional. I just couldn't believe that a story could be created in the way that he has created it. And I've seen every Wes Anderson movie multiple times, and I personally don't believe Wes has ever made a bad film. There are a lot of people that seem to be getting tired of his style, and it sort of baffles me because Wes is the epitome of what creativity is supposed to be. Just how vibrant and beautiful and creative all of the sets that he makes are, the way that he gets just amazing performances from his actors. And I would say the only movie of his that I was sort of in the middle on was The French Dispatch, and I've really enjoyed it when I've gone back to revisit it. I don't necessarily think the storytelling method and like the separated stories works as well for me as some of his other work, but I still think it's a really creative and fun movie. And I had no doubt that the Phoenician Scheme was going to fall into those similar lines, and I was very much looking forward to watching it, and I'm excited to tell you about it today. The Phoenician Scheme is directed by Wes Anderson. Wealthy businessman Zsa Zsa Corda appoints his only daughter, a nun, as sole heir to his estate. As Corda embarks on a new enterprise, they soon become a target of scheming tycoons, foreign terrorists, and determined assassins. So I was super excited to watch this movie. I didn't know what to expect other than I knew it was going to have Wes's signature style, and I assumed there would be a lot of deadpan dialogue and some really great humor. And I absolutely loved this movie. I think this film is incredibly hilarious. It might be one of Wes's funniest movies. And it doesn't necessarily have as lofty of an emotional, dramatic weight. Like Asteroid City was incredibly moving emotionally, and there was a lot of really thoughtful commentary throughout that. And this has some really interesting commentary on like the political world, and there's some really interesting things incorporated, but I feel like this is Wes just having a ton of fun. Like it's a really interesting, engaging story with a lot of really compelling and fun characters that just has some of Wes's most zany humor and just some like ridiculous visual gags that I appreciated a lot. And I'm excited to tell you a little bit about the movie today. So at the beginning of the film, we're introduced to Zsa Zsa Corda, played by Benicio del Toro, who is in the middle of a plane crash, and he has been involved in a ton of plane crashes. He is known as Mr. 5%. He is this wealthy business tycoon who's been involved in all of these different deals, and people hate him for it because he always manages to swindle his way into a deal or manipulate different people and governments. And because of that, people are always out to assassinate and murder him. And we see this really fun, incredible scene at the beginning of the movie that I feel like does a fantastic job sort of setting the tone for what you're going to watch. And we learn early on that he has a ton of sons and one daughter. And his daughter is Liesel, played by Mia Threapleton. And she shows up to the house when he summons her. She hasn't seen him in years. And he essentially tells her, I want you to become the heir to my estate. I don't know how much longer I'm going to have to live, and I want you to take over all of this, and I'm going to offer you this trial period to essentially be my heir. And he tells her about this plan that he has, the Phoenician Scheme, essentially to create this line of transport and all of these different things that he's going to make a ton of money. But in order to do that, he has to convince all of these different people to give, I believe, 20% towards this overall goal. And he's told them all initially that they're only going to give a certain amount, but he's planning to visit each and every one of them to up their percentile. And so she agrees, along with Bjorn, played by Michael Cera, who has been hired to teach them about insects on their journey. They travel together to each and every one of these people to try and acquire money in order to get this project accomplished, while also having Zsa Zsa attempt to avoid assassination. So, like I said, I really loved this movie, and I feel like, Asteroid City, I really loved because thematically it really hit hard. I thought that the message in that movie was really great. This was just Wes being at his quirkiest and his zaniest and just really having fun with some of the ridiculous gags in this movie. And it also has a really centralized message about a father and daughter relationship, which I feel like Wes loves making movies about bad dads and dads that haven't really done a great job at being a good parent. And that's definitely incorporated in this. But what I love so much is kind of the silly, over the top nature of the film, which is what I think works so well. For starters, I'm going to talk about what I talk about in every Wes movie. I don't know how you can watch a Wes Anderson movie and not just be completely enamored with his visual style. As someone who went to film school, how he accomplishes some of these shots, I'm just completely and totally in awe. Not just like in the movement of the camera, but also in how immaculate the production design is. This is a world I never wanted to leave. This was an hour and 45-minute movie, and I didn't want it to end. I was just so completely immersed in the world and was blown away as to what he was able to accomplish here that I just kept wanting more and more and more. And every single scene, when we would jump to a new area, I was blown away by just how vibrant the colors were and the detail in each and every scene. There's a really great scene where they're on this train where they're supposed to connect this railway. And I feel like even the set when they're going through this train tunnel and they stop and they pull down this basketball hoop where Zsa Zsa plays basketball against these two men played by Tom Hanks and Bryan Cranston, which was one of the funniest scenes in the movie. I absolutely loved it. But that personality is what I think really makes Wes's movies feel so alive. And the visual style, the cinematography, and the production design are really what help carry that. And I thought this movie was nothing short of immaculate in that department. Performance-wise, you are always going to get the most amazing performances out of Wes's actors. It's just there's no surprise at this point. But my standout of the entire movie was Michael Cera, and I cannot believe Michael Cera has not been in a Wes Anderson movie prior to this. He was hilarious, and the arc of his character I really appreciated, and I felt like he added a dynamic to this performance that you don't normally see from him, and I liked that a lot about this movie. Mia Threapleton was incredible in this as well. She was another one of my favorite parts of the entire film. I felt like her character being this nun, and like she constantly would talk about how devout she was, but one of my favorite recurring gags through the movie is like she would say, "I don't drink," and in the next scene you would see her with like 3 empty glasses next to her, and it was like this idea of holiness and this examine of religion. Wes does a really fun, playful job with it that I think works incredibly well throughout the movie. Like, it's not the most resounding theme, but I appreciated that it was incorporated, and I think her performance adds a lot to that. I also really liked Benicio del Toro in this, and I feel like a lot of people are being relatively harsh on his performance or saying that his character isn't necessarily as easy to grab a hold onto as a lot of the other characters in Wes's filmography, but I really liked his performance in this. He also had some recurring gags that I think worked really well. I think he had some moments where he really commanded the scene, and he was great. And there's a star-studded list of actors in this movie that I all feel like provide quite a bit. One of the things about Wes is even if a character is only incorporated for 2 minutes, the character is always so well fleshed out and has such a distinct personality that you always remember it. I remember even like little characters in like Moonrise Kingdom, like Jason Schwartzman's character. Like, I can go through his whole filmography, and even if there's an actor that's only present for a brief period of time, I feel like it brings a lot to the screen, and that's no different in the Phoenician Scheme. And music, of course, it's an Alexander Desplat score. It's absolutely incredible. I feel like it's incorporated in the movie in a way that works really well. And I think this is one of those particular instances where if you like Wes's work, you're going to find something to enjoy with this. And I find it so interesting in a world where we are being, just completely and totally bombarded with sequels and animated live action remakes, and people are supposedly so incredibly tired of the same material over and over again, that an artist like Wes Anderson, who is such a visionary that creates these distinct worlds where it's like he's not using computer generated animation, he's not doing like like incorporating AI in his movie, for Christ's sake. He's not doing any of those things. He has a distinct vision that he creates these beautiful worlds with these incredibly fascinating characters. And I just personally, as someone who loves art and loves filmmaking, can't comprehend how you could grow tired of something like this, especially if you love art and you love filmmaking. I just thought this movie was very special. And like I said, the father-daughter dynamic works really well. I thought the commentary on religion was great. I thought the commentary on like different governments and governmental interference, especially like the United States government and the way they play a part in this movie, I thought it was really funny. Wes is never like completely on the nose with his political commentary or anything like that, but I thought that the way it was incorporated was really comical. And his movies always make me think, but they also provide just a wonderful level of enjoyment. And this movie made me laugh a lot. And I think if you check it out, you're going to really enjoy it. So have you seen The Phoenician Scheme? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was really entertaining and I enjoyed it quite a bit. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, helps me out a lot. Lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.